Hi, and welcome to this lesson, CSS Border Images. And we are going to be seeing how we are going to use images to define our borders. And you can typically set an image to be used as the border around an element. Good. So, we are going to be using this border image property in setting these border images. And uh, the property takes these three parts. We have the image itself, that is what image you want to use. The second one is where to slice the image, and then either you want a repeated middle section or a stretch section. So this is a sample image that we are going to use. Uh, where this is the image that we are going to be using. Where do we want to slice this? And do we want this middle section to keep repeating or not? So let's go to the code section and find out. So I have this sample HTML, and the only thing I have here is an H1 and a P, right? The P has an ID called border, and the content is this P has a border image. So when I refresh it, this is what you get, right? So we are going to create our border image, and I have an image called circle.png, right, which has a bunch of alternating circles with different colors, right? Good. So we are going to use that in our style. So I'm going to create, I'm going to call my ID, which is hash, and then the name of it, which is border, and I'm going to style it, right? So I'm going to set a border. I'm going to say it should be 10 pixel solid, solid, but transparent, because we are going to be using our border image. So I'm going to set this to transparent, and I'm going to add the padding to this 20 pixels. Good. Finally, I'm going to have my border image, and I'm going to call the URL, which is going to go to our circle.png, and then 30, and then the round. Good. So this 30 is a 30%. So you want to slice it 30%, right? The images, right? And then you want round, I mean, you want it to be repeating, right? If you want it to stretch, you stretch, but this is going to be repeating. So let's see how this would look like. So I'm expecting, so what happens is with border image, it splices the image into 9 sections or 9 parts, and then it's able to use those parts to place, right? So if I refresh this, it takes a while, but then you can see your border image, right? You can see that the image, the corners of the image had this red, and then we had this one being the middle section, right? So you had them alternating. Good. So this is how the border image works. We could also use the stretch, right? So we used the round, right? But if we wanted to stretch it, let's see how that is going to look like. So we're using the stretch. And so when I refresh this, it takes a while, but you can see that it stretched the middle part, right? So that is using the stretch. The round repeats it, but the stretch tries to stretch the middle part. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take this back to round, and then we are going to see how different slice values changes, and I'm going to refresh this so we see how it looks like. How different slice values completely changes the look of your border. So we have this set to 30%, but I'm gonna make it 50% for now, and let's see how that looks like. So when I refresh this is when the slice is 50%, right? And then when I move this to 20%, you can see this is how 20% look like, right? And we had our original 30%, and that is how it looks like. So if I go 60%, that is how it looks like. So you can play around with the percentages and the slices that you want, but ultimately, if you want to have a picture being your border, this is how to do it. So thank you guys for watching and see you in the next lesson. Bye bye.